So there's an update on Larry Nassar. If you don't know who Larry Nassar is, he's the disgraced doctor. This guy. He was a doctor for the Olympic team for the women and basically molested, just did the worst, raped hundreds of underage women and then pressured them about their position in the Olympics, their families, until he was ultimately arrested. While he was in prison, he was stabbed over 27 times in a blind spot at Coleman Correctional Institution in Florida, in a federal protective custody wing. Just like many of his other victims, he was screaming for his life, begging for help, but nobody was coming to save him. Over 12 minutes the attack went on. And like I always say, check this out. They always come to prison looking like victims and acting like victims. But when they're on the streets, they take advantage of the weak. They always go after the vulnerable. They just always go after victims, period. People that aren't strong enough or that are scared, vulnerable, little kids, children, young women. And then they get to prison about a bunch of savages and they're scared to death and they're acting like they're getting bullied and they need help. But when you've been in prison so long and you already know what this dude is about and what he would do if he got released the next day, you got to put an end to that. So he was in a blind spot. Somebody called him, hit him up damn near 30 times. He's bleeding out, screaming for help. From what I was told, he was basically hit so hard that he was screaming, yet no voice was coming out. It's almost poetic justice that a doctor that abused his power to molest, rape, just do the worst of the worst to minors is begging for help from a prison staff to save his life. But when those little girls were begging for people to believe them, parents to believe them, you shut everybody down. So now, this is what his life is like in federal prison. Every single day, he lives in fear. People are trying to hit him up no matter where he goes. In a letter that was written to his family members and a recorded phone call, he was saying just a walk to the shower is anxiety, where people will try to kill him, throw shit on him, feces. So this is coming from the prison. He's an easy target. They called him a little bitch. He's treated like a doormat. They literally abuse him. Just anything they want, they take from him. They slap him. They just treat him like pure shit. But one thing I didn't like is it's because he's weak. No, he wasn't weak when he was hurting those little girls, right? He was a big, bad, scary predator. No. I mean, he's getting abused in every way possible. And I know a lot of people will say, two wrongs don't make a right. This isn't about right or wrong. This is about a child predator. Now, I know a lot of people will say two wrongs don't make a right. This isn't about that. This is about a child molesting piece of shit motherfucker who stole innocence from countless women, who have ruined countless lives for his own demonic pleasures. Understanding that you might have got away with it for all these years, but now you're trapped and there's nowhere you can go. The same way those women felt for years and years and years. They couldn't tell anybody. You had them feeling like you would ruin their life. Now you're a doormat, a prison bitch. And every way possible, they're using him, abusing him. That's worse than death. The first hit, almost 30 times hit with a fucking lawnmower blade. And now every day you live in fear. And as we get closer to the Olympics, we have to know one thing. That he was stabbed almost 27, 28 times, almost bled out and died. He's getting used and abused. They call him a walking bitch doormat. But like I keep telling you guys, the system will always fail these kids. Even the FBI failed these kids. They just paid a settlement to all the victims for $138.7 million right at the start of the Paris Olympics for the victims over the FBI failures. So like I say time and time again, do not give access to these predators. I know a lot of parents didn't know, but when your kids say something, listen. Don't care what people think or how it'll affect you. Go to war. The FBI failed these kids. So what do you think state agencies and county agencies do? Don't make it easy for these predators. Looking like a victim, acting like a victim. But he's just wolf in sheep clothing. An easy target, little bitch doormat. Getting used and abused. But money, violence, revenge can never take the pain away that these young ladies experience. But fuck that motherfucker. Stay out, stay free, and leave our kids alone. Us.